Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this live stream. This is Q8 Pilot, your host for today's show, and it is currently 1700 Zulu. And today we are going to be taking a flight aboard a real-world route. We are United 6014 service from Buffalo Niagara International to Washington Dulles in the CRJ 700. Sammy, welcome aboard. Sammy Amin, welcome from France. And we have with us today Omari. Omari, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Steve Bennett, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you guys with me in the stream. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by Virtual First Officer Kevin Lombardi, who is going to be my co-pilot today. And we're going to be, it looks like the weather is very nice here at Buffalo International. And this airport scenery is that of iniScene, a very detailed airport, optimized for performance, a very nice rendition of the airport, quite detailed. And both inside and out, you can see the parking lot area and very nice buildings all around. The terminal. The interior of the terminal has been also modeled. Just look at the details here. The window reflections are done quite nicely here. And if we head over to the terminal, you can see that everything has also been modeled with all the airline positions. You can see all the signage inside the airport. As you can see here, we have American. So American, JetBlue, and United all fly into this airport, in and out of this airport. And we've got another American desk here. Very, very nice airport. I really like this airport. This is United, and that's us right there. That's our aircraft, the CRJ 700. Of course, the maintenance crew is prepping the aircraft, getting it fueled now for our flight. Very, very nice rendition of the airport, inside and out. Very easy on the frames. If you like flying in the US, this is actually one airport that I would recommend. We have with us Dave. Dave, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you for your continued support. Skygrow, welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. MK Crewfish, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. You can see also the exterior of the airport has all the proper airline gates. So you can see here Delta, all the numbers are accurate numbers. Southwest, and then you've got United. Here, as you can see, we have United Airlines, then we have JetBlue, and then we have, I believe, American. Here, if we just go down here, you'll see all the other airlines as well. Here at the Buffalo Niagara International Airport. A beautiful rendition. Really, the buildings are done quite nicely. The PBR materials, the reflections, really very nice airport. Even the parking area and all the roads leading to the airport have been modeled here. Let me take you to the front of the airport here. As you can see here, the bridges leading to the airport. Very nice. And this is of course the ticketing area. So as you enter the airport, as you can see here, now of course they don't have any moving people, and that's probably to save on performance, but nonetheless this is a really nicely detailed and rendered airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we are flying the CRJ, and the CRJ is probably an aircraft that hasn't received a lot of love from me. But nonetheless, it has received an update from Aerosoft. And so I thought it would be a nice flight today. A short hop, about 45-minute flight aboard this real world. Oh, Snow Dogo donated $150 to save the children. Sir, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you very much for your kindness. This is very kind of you, and I do really appreciate your donation. You're a good man. Appreciate it. And so today we're going to be flying United, and for those of you who just joined the stream, we are doing so with the first officer, Kevin Lombardi. And by the way, the name Kevin Lombardi happens to be a name of one of my professors back in college. So there you go. All right, so let's go ahead and get things started. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to prep the aircraft, but first let me just download the SimBrief flight plan. And once we do that, all right, so SimBrief plan is downloaded, and we can hop into the aircraft. All right, here we go. We are in the CRJ. I do like the textures of this aircraft. I think it's a well-modeled aircraft. It's nicely textured, optimized for performance. So definitely, by the way, if you're thinking about buying this aircraft, if you already have the 550 700 variant, it wouldn't make a lot of sense getting the 1000, 900, and 1000 series. For me, this is sufficient. But if you're serious about it, you really want to fly that model, then that's of course okay. Captain Carol Blanford, welcome aboard to the Q8 Pilot channel. Teen Aviator, welcome aboard. Augustin, hello from Argentina. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you. And we have with us Gibby. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you. And once again, I want to thank Snow Dogo for your very generous donation and becoming a member here at the Q8 Pilot channel. Thank you, sir, very much for your kind support and the kindness of your heart. I really appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We are in a completely cold and dark state. We are at position 10. The designated United gate for our flight today, 6014. And we are going to head here and we are going to connect the ground power unit. And we're going to open the passenger door. We're not going to worry about the gate. They're going to bring the passengers to the aircraft. So we don't need the gate here today. And next up, we're going to go to the performance, and we're going to enter all the information here. So today we are carrying 48 passengers, so we can clear that and enter 48. Enter. Don't worry about that. We'll fix that in a minute. The forward cargo today is going to be, the total cargo today is 2.6. So we're going to put we'll put 1.3 and 1.3. So we'll put 1,300 pounds here, 1,300 pounds. And we're going to put 1,300 pounds here as well. And then our fuel today is, let me check here. The total fuel today is 7,500 pounds of fuel. So 7500, and we enter that. Looks like it doesn't like this very much. So we're going to reduce perhaps, all right, so let's take this to about 800. We don't need so much cargo. All right, 800, and we're going to reduce this to about 1,000. All right, I think that's okay. Maximum, we're right there at the maximum takeoff weight. So maybe we can reduce this a little further. So we're going to put 900, and we're going to put let's see, we're going to say 500. That's better. All right, that's cool. All right, now we're ready, and we'll set this all of this stuff there later on. I'm going to go ahead and say set all for our speeds. And flaps 8, dry runway today. Beautiful conditions here, clear skies, so we shouldn't have any problems really with our departure out of runway 23 today. And we have with us Matthew Presley. Welcome aboard, my friend. You're doing a MESA air shuttle flight. Yes, sir. So the first thing I'm going to do now is we are going to go to pre-flight flow.
Good afternoon, Captain.
Good afternoon. All right, so the first officer is now going to perform all sorts of tests. He's doing the electrical power, establishing power to the aircraft, and once he's ready to go for the walk around, we will go ahead and start programming the FMS for our flight today. He's obviously setting the ADIRS to nav mode.
All right, I'm going to check out the aircraft.
All right, so while the first officer is out to check the aircraft, we're going to go ahead and program the FMS. So position in it, our airport today is Kilo Bravo Uniform Foxtrot. That's one of the things Aerosoft has got to fix, which is the touch points. All right, so that's our departure airport, and we're going to set the position here. We're going to go to the flight plan. We're going to copy Kilo Bravo Uniform Foxtrot as the origin airport, and our destination is Kilo India. No, that's not correct. Alpha Delta. AI traffic. I'm not sure why AI traffic keeps doing this. All right. Well, I'll start it a little later on before our departure. It keeps doing this for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, we just lost the traffic. All right, so the alternate airport today is, let's see, alternate is Kilo Papa India Tango. Kilo Papa India Tango, and that's the alternate airport. Perfect. Execute. And then we're going to go to the departure. Today we're departing runway 23, and then we're going to execute that, and we're going to go to the flight plan. Yep, let's go there to the flight plan. Now from runway 23, we're going to fly direct to Vares. Or Vares. Let's see here. Victor Romeo Sierra. And then we're going to fly direct to Papa Sierra Bravo. Papa Sierra Bravo. We're going to fly direct and execute that. And then it is our arrival into Washington Dulles through the Maple 3 Star, runway 01 right. So we're going to go back now to the departure and arrival, and we're going to select our arrival, and the arrival is the Maple 3. So that's the Maple 3 through the Papa Sierra Bravo transition, and we're performing an ILS runway 01 right. It's going to be vectors to final. So all we need to do now is say execute, and now we have executed the plan. Let's go to the legs page. Looks like there is a discontinuity here, which we are going to clear and execute. And then we're going to go to the next page. Next page, as you can see, vector to Mosby, which is the final fix for our arrival into Washington Dulles. Speed check. Hello, my friend. Gagan, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you guys with us this evening. And all is set here. We're going to go to the MCD. No, we want to go to the MFD menu, and we are going to make sure we have the VNAV here so we get the destination and the top of descent here on the display. And let's see here. How is our first officer doing? So the first officer still needs a little bit more time to complete the walk around. So everything is done here. We are going to go to the performance. So if we go to the index, let's go to VNAV first of all. And the final cruise altitude for our flight today is going to be 28,000 feet. So we're going to go to the next page, and we're going to enter the cruise altitude. Oops, that's not right. All right, so we need to put flight 280. And that is now there. Execute that. performance initialization. All right, so what we're going to do now, since we've already put the all the information here, we are going to simply say copy the performance data from the performance init data into the FMS. And once we do that, you'll see that all the information is now populated here and everything is looking perfect. All right, now we're going to go and make sure the speeds here haven't changed. Flaps 8 for departure. And we're going to say set all. And now all our speeds are also set here. And all we need to do now is wait for Kevin to come back from the walk around. E-Boss, welcome aboard. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. So we just need to wait for Kevin now to come back and from the walk around, and then we're good to go. All right. So let's see here. By the way, today we're not doing any sim brief or volante or anything like that. Today I decided that I want to do it old style without any software. So I went to sim brief, created the flight plan, and we're going to be using a Navigraph for the charts, and that's about it. All right, let's call the let's see how Kevin is doing.
Walk around completed.
All right, walk around is complete. And now the first officer is going to conduct the tests. So we're going to set this to the electrical panel. And while he's performing the test, I believe all the passengers are aboard the aircraft. So we're going to go ahead and close the aircraft door.
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the captain,
Right, he's now setting the hydraulic pumps. As you can see, we can see the pressure in the hydraulic pumps. Next cabin pressure panel is now being set. Just wait for him to perform all the test. All the test checks okay. And now he's setting the landing elevation for our destination airport, as you can see here. Let me just zoom in so you guys can see what the first officer is doing. In the meantime, we can set the altitude to 28,000 feet, which is our cruise altitude for the flight. He's now testing the anti-ice. Oh, come on. Stall test. All right, 28,000 set. And next he's going to perform the CVR test, followed by the anti-skid and the overheat test as well. So anti-skid test is now in progress. All's good. Everything checks okay. It is a Carl Childers. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. Yes, Gibby, this is an AI co-pilot. Good day, Steve Van. Welcome aboard, my friend. It is definitely nice, Carl. Yeah, I do like this jet. It grows on you after a while. All right, so it looks like all the tests are so we've done the steer wheeling test, anti-skid over, light test, upper pedestal test, throttle quadrant has now been set, and now we're performing the TCAS test.
TCAS system test okay.
That test okay, and now setting the radio panel. Right, radio panel's been set on the first officer side. And now we're setting the source selector panel, lower pedestal, set the altimeter, and the altimeter is, we need to switch this to, let me see here. There we go. So we need it in inches. And now the set FMS iris position, program the flight route, and we got the IFR clearance already from tower. So we are good to go now. And it looks like the pre-flight flow is complete. Let's go ahead and proceed. So I'm going to give instructions to our co-pilot here. Pre-flight checklist, please.
Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen.
Tested.
Flight instruments.
Set.
Throttle.
Closed.
Fuel control switches.
Cut off.
Parking brake.
Set.
Checklist complete.
All right. So now we have done the, now what the first officer will do is he's going to run through the before start flow. And that includes starting the APU, disconnecting the GPU, and also setting the passenger signs, external lights, autopilot, MFD, and the FMS. So he's now checking the autopilot, making sure everything checks okay. He's, as you can see, put the speed and all that information there. Right, APU is starting. And by the way, you have the option with the first officer next to have the flows automated, or you can leave them and start them when you like. So now we can disconnect the GPU now that we have APU power. The door is closed. We're going to disconnect the ground power unit, and we're going to remove the chocks. And he's now set the lights, and the passenger non-smoking signs have all been set. Uger, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. We have Victor as well from Brazil. Welcome aboard, my friend. Top Man Whitey. I guess that's Top Man YouTube FSX.
Dear passengers, this is to inform you that the aircraft door is closed and we will be ready for departure.
Chris, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard.
We would require that all passengers are seated with their seatbelts fastened and seats in the upright position. All carry-on luggage should now be either in the overhead compartments or under the seat in front of
Before
you.
start, checklist,
The
please.
cabin crew will be passing to make
Before
their
start
final
checklist.
safety checks before departure.
Doors.
Closed.
Thank you.
Fuel.
Checked.
Passenger signs.
On.
Hydraulic panel.
Set.
Packs.
Set.
Window heat.
On.
Fuel pumps.
Set.
Takeoff speeds.
Set.
FMS.
Completed.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Completed.
Beacon lights.
On.
Checklist complete.
All right, folks. So we are now ready to push back out of our position. And what we're going to do is we can... I don't think there is a pushback feature here. So what we're going to do is we are going to... Let's see here. We're going to use... Here, starting...
Cockpit.
Go ahead.
We're ready for pushback.
Steering inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, let's release the parking brake.
Starting push.
A little bit of desynchronization there between what they've said and what they're doing. All right, so now we're getting the... by the way, once we land at our destination, I'll show you more of the features of First Officer Next. I think it has really been revamped with a brand new user interface. So we'll take a look. All right, here is the push. And let's see here. All right, so now we're
Clear
pushing.
to start engines.
Start engines.
Starting engine 2.
Perfect.
Nose left.
And by the way, the pushback commands are also controlled from the first officer next interface.
Stopping pushback. Set parking brakes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention as we display the safety features and procedures.
Parking
Don't
brake
walk
set.
disconnected. See you on the left side with the
During
pin.
an emergency, please
Have a
remain in
great
your seat
flight.
with your seatbelt
Thank you
fastened
very much
and
for your
seat in the
service.
upright position. In case of a drop in cabin pressure, breathing masks will drop from the ceiling and should be placed over your head.
And by the way, while we were in the exterior view, the first officer started engine number 1 after the first engine's been stabilized.
In case of an extreme emergency landing, you'll be instructed to get into the brace position, which is executed by placing your head between your knees with your hands over your head. We would also like to remind you that you should turn off all electronic devices. We thank you for paying attention during this brief presentation.
Right, we're going to set this to our legs page. And runway 23 is on the opposite side. So let me just bring this up here real quick to show you where we're going. Alright, so this is where we are right now. And we are going to be taxiing via Alpha all the way to the hold point runway 23 for our departure. Perfect. What happened there?
Engine 1 cut out. Engine 2 cut out. All engines stable.
All right, so now what we're going to do now is setting the gens and the anti-ice, probe heat, stop the APU, external lights, interior lights, nose wheel steering. I think it's I think what's happening is it's, let me turn off the voice command here. I think it's interpreting some of what I'm telling you guys, so I need to... Where is the windshield now? Where is it? Air conditioning. How do we stop it? Gee, I don't know. Sammy Tech Cookie, welcome aboard. How are you doing, my friend? Duncan, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Thank you both for your continued support to the channel. Euron, hello, my friend. Greetings to you, my friend. Mohan, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. I'm not sure where the... how do you turn off the windshield there, wipers? Huh. Does anyone know? APU, lead air, anti-ice. Just pull the fuse. Ah, gee, how did we start this? Is it somewhere here? Can't be. Oh, come on. Lower left. Stab trim here. Everything is set here. Alright, let me try one thing. Windshield off. No, it didn't like that command. Left side near air vent. Somewhere here. There we go. Thank you. Jeez. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. We got that done. And let's go ahead and taxi checklist, please.
Taxi checklist. Anti-ice.
Set.
Packs.
Set.
Flaps.
Set.
Trim.
Checked.
Flight controls. Full left. Full right. Full back. Full forward. Checked. Ground equipment.
Clear.
Checklist complete.
All right, we have the checklist completed now. And, yeah. All right, so we need to set our trim. So let me just go very quickly to performance. And if you look here at the takeoff trim 6.1, and right here it's 7.5. So we need to set this to 6.1. There we go, 6.1. All right, so we are good to go. Let's release the parking brake, and let's give it some power, and taxi to the runway. Lovely. Really nice.
First officer, just want to take a moment to welcome you aboard and thank you for flying with us today. Our taxi to the runway should be pretty uneventful, and we're anticipating an on-time departure. Just sit back, relax, and we'll have you in the air shortly.
You know, I really like the texturing of this Aerosoft CRJ. I think it's one of the successful, I think, implementations in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Overall, yeah, I think it looks pretty good. That's the departure runway there. And we are on taxiway Alpha. Left, right, we're clear. Do you guys want me to bring Alpha India Group traffic once more? Try it out. Maybe this time it will work without incident. Nell Prober, have you tested MSFS new integrated head shake for SU-10? No, I have not. I did not download the beta. Flex. What's going on? What is going on? Oh no, don't give me that. This is like the third time in a row in every stream. Come on. Oh boy. Oh god, this is like the third time this happens in a row in the last 3 streams. I'm not sure why this is happening. Instruction, reference, memory, whatever. Yeah, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Yeah, we have a CTD. Oh boy. Bought this all day yesterday. Yeah, it's just really, really... Oh god. Alright. Here's what I'm going to do, guys. We are going to bring the aircraft back. I'm not going to give up on this, so we're going to do this, guys. Just give me some time to restart the sim, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright guys, we're back. Microsoft Flight Simulator is loading, and I didn't want to keep you guys waiting too long. Logo bouncing up and down. What's the name of the song, Q8 Pilot? I can get you the name of the song. I am subscribed to this music website that I go and download stuff from, so I don't really pay too much attention to. But you know what? Let me get you the name of the song. Let's see here. Where is it? Why is it not showing? Oh, I need to switch to one of them other. All right, I'll get it for you. Yeah, we are back, and do you guys want me to do the first officer again, or do you want to fly? Let's bring it. Why not? Let's bring this. All right, so we're gonna start it here once more, and I'll take it to the other screen. And we're gonna do this once more. This time we don't have a lot of stuff loaded here on. Hopefully I'll remember all the information. We should be able to remember. And we have a new subscriber, PJ Nick. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Yeah, I don't know why I am getting this issue with Microsoft Flight Simulator. By the way, I've done so many flights. It could be, by the way, Streamlabs OBS, because that's the only thing that is different from, all the flights that I've been doing in the past couple of days. That's the only thing that I have running that I don't normally have running when, obviously, I'm flying on my own without streaming or recording. So I'm suspecting there must be something with Streamlabs OBS, but I am not for sure. You mean since it takes so long to start up? It does take quite a bit to start up. I'm not sure why. I'm doing very well, Badger. Good evening to you, my friend. Welcome aboard. Anders, welcome aboard. Yeah, we're gonna do it a lot faster this time. Hopefully we can go through everything quicker. And let's make sure we have this little guy. All right, here we go. Kilo Bravo Uniform Foxtrot Buffalo, and we're gonna go to the exact location for United, which is gate number 12. Set departure and fly. All right, this time around, hopefully we'll do it without incident, and hopefully we'll be able to complete our flight. I mean, if we were almost at our destination, I would probably given up. But since we are just starting, then I thought, let's go ahead and restart it, and then you guys get to take another look at First Officer next. So there we go. Let me download the sim brief plan. It was also slow with me, but that was only after I bought the 20 new airports. Otherwise, it hasn't been slow. I bought a new M.2 SSD. That's what I have. Still loads pretty slow. Maybe it's 110. Yeah, I think the more stuff you have in your community folder, the longer it will take, because it actually reads through all of them and it does it sequentially. So yeah, it does take quite a bit of time to go through it, but hopefully won't take too long. Right, let's just give it some time to load. I'll be right back, guys. Alrighty. We are back, and hopefully this time we'll be able to do this without incident. We are back here, and we're gonna put the aircraft back into its cold and dark state. We'll start this from the beginning, folks. So I'm gonna go to the aircraft, go to cold and dark, and now.
Cut out.
All right. So now everything is
cut out. All engines stable.
All right. This guy needs to be restarted. All right. Alrighty. So we're starting from the very beginning now. And let's download the flight plan. And in the meantime, we can go and set our... we're going to connect the ground power unit and open the passenger door. Let's go to performance real quick. We're going to accept whatever is here. We're just going to change the fuel to 7,500, if I recall correctly. 7,500. And everything's good here. Flaps 20, flaps there. Everything's good here. Everything's good there. All right, perfect. And let's go ahead now and call the first officer. to begin the flows. Let's see, auto flows there. All right, we're beginning with the pre-flight flow.
Good afternoon, Captain.
Good afternoon for the second time. All right, perfect. Now things are happening here. And the first officer will be going for the walk around in just a few. And we'll be setting up the aircraft as well.
Heading out for the walk around.
All right, let's go ahead and set up our plan here. We're going to go to the position in it. We are at Kilo Bravo Uniform Foxtrot. And we're going to copy that position and enter it here. Next, we're going to go to the flight plan. We are at Kilo Bravo Uniform Foxtrot. And we're heading today to Washington Dulles. By the way, the arrival airport is that of Flight Beam. And it's a really beautiful rendition of the airport as well. So 2 beautiful airports today. I believe this was KTI. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. All right. And then we're going to go to Varus or Vers. There we go. And then to Papa Sierra Bravo. Papa Sierra Bravo. Victor, thank you very much for becoming a VVIP member here at the Q8 Pilot channel. Welcome aboard and thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, my friend. All right, Papa Sierra Bravo, and then we can execute that. Next, we're going to go to the departure. We're departing runway 23 and execute that. And then we're going to go to the arrival, and the arrival today is going to be through the Maple 3 through the Papa Sierra Bravo transition, and we're doing an ILS runway 01 right. We're going to be doing vectors today to final, so we're just going to say execute, then go to our flight plan and remove this discontinuity and hit execute. Then we're going to go next page, everything here. Yeah, that's the vector into final. So we're gonna make the turn to Mosby once we are at the approach the platform altitude once we are at our destination. All right, perfect. We're gonna go to the MFD menu and make sure we have VNAV set up. So we have VNAV here. Perfect. And everything else is set. So we're going to come here to performance and say copy performance and data into FMS. And now we should have all the data here. If we go to the index, departure, arrival, that's the flight plan, performance in it. Cruise altitude today is flight level 280. 280 is set. As you can see, we have all the performance data here and execute that. We're going to go to the next page and the cruise wind were 34034. And that's pretty much it. Next page. Taxi fuel is there. Everything is good. So we're going to go to the next page and now we are actually ready for push and start from my perspective. So we're gonna call the first officer. I think you know, we can.
Aircraft looks good.
All right. So now the first officer will continue with the pre-flight flow. So he's going to be performing the fire test, all sorts of tests here. Really nice aircraft, and I do like First Officer Next. I think the latest version of First Officer Next is done quite well. The developer has cleaned it up with a brand new interface, make things a little more usable. And let's, by the way, while we're at it, we need to set the trim. So the trim is going to be 5.7 for our takeoff trim. Obviously, we put different data this time. So we are getting different different trim, different takeoff trim. 7.5 here, as you can see. So that needs to be set to 5.7. So let's go ahead and do that now. 5.7 is set, and this is pretty much everything I need to do. The first officer is now setting the landing elevation, which he has done, and everything cool here. Now he's doing the air conditioning panel. So everything is being set up on the air conditioning panel, and then perform the ice detection test. As you can see, very, very thorough checklist, really implementation and execution from a first officer next. And it also gives you an appreciation of what Aerosoft has done with this aircraft. I think it's quite detailed, and I think it's really worth its money, if you ask me. And I really highly recommend this airport, Buffalo Niagara International, by iniScene. Again, a very detailed airport and optimized for performance. You get a lot of airport clutter, nice interior. If you like going to airport interiors, not really my thing, but yeah, I do like detailed airports. I like details in anything. And by the way, guys, if you want me to do a review of the Aeroplane Heaven DC-1 the DC-1 by Aeroplane Heaven, let me know. The Chipmunk, that's the one. Yeah, just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to do a review of that plane. So TCAS test is now being performed, and while we're at it, let's go ahead and set our altitude to 28,000 feet for our flight, which is our final cruise altitude today. And 28,000 is set. We're almost done now. The middle pedestal is now being set, and the first officer is taking care of all that information for us. All right, all passengers are aboard. Let's go ahead and close the aircraft door.
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the captain and crew, welcome aboard this flight. We hope you enjoy flying with us. Before takeoff, we would like to encourage all passengers to watch our cabin crew display the safety features of the aircraft.
All right, so let's go ahead and proceed to the next step. Pre-flight checklist, please. Pre-flight checklist.
Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen.
Tested.
Flight instruments.
Set.
Throttle.
Closed.
Fuel control switches.
Cut off.
Parking brake.
Set.
Checklist complete.
And now we're performing the before start flow. So now we're starting the APU, and the first officer is of course going to be performing the flow, the pre-flight before start flow. And what the pilot flying, which is me in this case, is supposed to start the pilot clock and check the wheel chocks. So let's go here, and this is the pilot clock. All right, so we started the pilot clock, and we're going to remove the chocks. No, let's put it back, and let's make sure the... All right, so we can disconnect the GPU now. So let's disconnect the GPU and remove the chocks. There we go. All right, so the first officer is now configuring the autopilot. As you can see, he's setting the heading, the runway heading. The altitude is already set. He's also going to set the altimeter, which we need to change to inches. And we need to set...
Dear passengers, this is to inform you that the aircraft door is closed and we will be ready for
Cost index 90 now after the CTD. Yeah.
In the upright position.
All right.
All carry-on luggage should now be either in the overhead compartments or under the seat in front of you.
Before start checklist, please.
Passing to make their final
Before
safety
start
checks
checklist.
before departure.
Doors.
Thank you.
Closed.
Fuel.
Checked.
Passenger signs.
On.
Hydraulic panel.
Set.
Packs.
Set.
Window heat.
On.
Fuel pumps.
Set.
Takeoff speeds.
Set.
FMS.
Completed.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Completed.
Beacon lights.
On.
Checklist complete.
All right, so now we're ready to push out of our position. And to do this,
Ground from cockpit.
Go ahead.
We're ready for pushback.
Steve, yeah, we have to check the
Steering
wipers.
inserted. Release parking brake.
All right. Let's see here. Parking brake.
Starting push.
All right, here we go. And we're going to start pushing now. All right, here we go.
Cleared to start engines.
Start engines.
Starting engine 2.
Nose left. Nose straight. Nose left.
And as you can see now, the first officer has started engine number 2, and then we're just going to start engine number 1. You can hear the engines now spooling up. Very nice airport, Gibby. Yeah, I agree. All right.
Stopping pushback. Set parking brakes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention as we display
Tow bar
the safety
disconnected.
features and
See you on the
procedures of
left side
aircraft
with
in
the
case
pin.
of an emergency.
Have a great
During
flight.
an emergency, please
We'll
remain
look
in
for you
your
on the left
seats
side
with
with
your
the pin.
seatbelts
Thank you.
fastened and your seats in the upright position. In case of a drop in cabin pressure, breathing masks will drop from the ceiling and should be placed over your head. If there is smoke in the cabin during the evacuation of the aircraft, the walkway emergency lights will display to the exits, which are located here and here. In case of an extreme emergency landing, you will be instructed to get into the brace position, which is executed by placing your head between your knees with your hands over your head.
All right, so we have the second engine now starting.
Electronic devices. We thank you for paying.
Nicely textured aircraft. Nice animations as well. You can see the APU door is open. Overall, I like this aircraft a lot. Yeah. Reminds me a lot of the CRJ 200 for X-Plane. All right, we're just waiting about another 18 seconds to wait for the engine to stabilize, and then we can perform the before taxi checklist and be on our way. And hopefully this time we will not encounter a CTD. All right.
Engine 1 cutout. Engine 2 cutout. All engines stable.
Perfect. And now we're going to do the after start flow, which consists of setting the generators, setting the bleed air panel, setting the air conditioning panel, stopping the APU. As you can see here, APU gen is off, setting the external lights, setting the interior lights, set the nose wheel steering, which is right here, setting the flaps, transponder, and now everything is set, and we are good. All right. Taxi checklist, please.
Taxi checklist. Anti-ice.
Set.
Packs.
Set.
Flaps.
Set.
Trim.
Checked.
Flight controls. Full left. Full right. Full back. Full forward. Checked. Ground equipment.
Clear.
Checklist complete.
All right. We are ready to go. Parking brake released. And let's go. Why is the aircraft not moving? Shocks are removed. Why are we not moving? Alright, there we go. I almost had a heart attack there. Alright. Finally.
From the cockpit, this is your first officer. Just want to take a moment to welcome you aboard and thank you for flying with us today. Our taxi to the runway should be pretty uneventful, and we're anticipating an on-time departure. Just sit back, relax, and we'll have you in the air shortly.
Alright, we're going to take taxiway Alpha. And we're going to go all the way to the end of the taxiway Alpha, and then we're going to depart. We're going to cross a runway here. So we're going to check left, right, all is good. We're going to go ahead and cross the runway there. Chipmunk, yep. Alright, perfect. You know, I did yesterday a stream comparing X-Plane 11 to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and the main purpose was not really to, you know, show which simulator was better, or this is a winner and that is not a winner. Just really, a lot of you guys have asked me to do this stream, and so I've done it for you guys. And I just really wanted to show the difference between, you know, the two aircraft, really, not the scenery or anything like that. And I still get some really strange comments from folks, but that's alright. I'm kind of used to it now. Interestingly enough, a real-world pilot, I've been watching his channel for a while, and he actually favors the flight model in Microsoft Flight Simulator over X-Plane. So, yeah, alright. We're coming up to the turn to the hold short point for runway 23 for departure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has advised that we are now cleared for takeoff.
Before takeoff checklist, please.
Before takeoff checklist. Flaps.
Set.
Exterior lights.
Set.
Packs.
Set.
Transponder.
Set.
Checklist complete. Flight attendants prepared for takeoff.
All right, folks, we are ready to go. All right.
Thrust set. Checked. Speed alive. Checked. 80 knots. Checked. V1, rotate. V2. Positive rate. Gear up. Landing gear up. .400 feet. Heading select. Speed hold. VNav on. Acceleration altitude. Autopilot. Command A on. Flap 0. Flaps up.
Now, as you can see, guys, the first officer really does everything for you. We're gonna go to nav here. And we're gonna hold the speed. It is a very handy software. All right, now after takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear.
Up.
Flaps.
Up.
Packs.
Set.
Checklist complete.
All right, now the after takeoff flow is setting the fuel panel, setting the throttle quadrant, and set the co-pilot FMS. We can increase the range here a little bit and see, there we go. All right, so now we're climbing through 7,000 for 28,000, and I am in the East Asia server, I guess. I didn't check, sorry. Captain Blandford, welcome aboard, my friend. I didn't know you were with us here. We have also what is it? Geekwad? Is it? I'm sorry if I didn't say your name correctly. Welcome aboard. Which ATC plugin? I'm not using ATC, but I'm using First Officer Next, which I think is pretty cool.
Passing 10,000 feet.
Right, and as you can see, as soon as you pass the 10,000 feet, the first officer will turn off the landing lights. So it really follows the proper procedures for the aircraft, which is really, really cool. We can increase our speed now, so we can go here and set the speed to 250 knots or so. 250. There we go. 250 knots is set, and we're going to continue the climb. Beautiful. Finally, we actually took off without incident, and hopefully stays that way. Yeah, I really like this aircraft. I think it's got a lot of details for its price, and you know, you've got the heads-up display as well. Here, if we can set it, let me just reset my view. There you go. So you've got a nice heads-up display there. All the information is showing, works perfectly, and yeah, I think the Aerosoft, I think it really deserves a little more love from my side. I don't think I spent a lot of time with it, but really with First Officer Next, I think the experience is really very cool. I really like First Officer Next, and by the way, you can. So if you like.
Gentlemen, we are now serving sandwiches.
All right. So if you like to do a lot more things yourself, that you actually can. But I like the fact that it follows the actual checklist, and in the interface of the application, it actually tells you what the first officer should do and what the pilot flying should do according to the CRJ checklist. So from that perspective, I think it's good. The interface has also been changed, and now I can see that arrival times have been updated. The total distance remaining to our destination is 225 knots, 40 minutes, and the local time is 2:52 p.m. Top-up descent in 143 nautical miles, so not very long from now. And Vasily, welcome aboard, my friend. Transition altitude. And we will set the barrel reference to standard. 290.902 is set, and we can now dismiss this. I just wanted to show you. Again, it's got really nice details, very easy on the frames. It's an aircraft that doesn't really require a lot of compute power. So from that perspective, I think it's pretty cool, and definitely recommend it. Definitely, this is an aircraft I recommend. We can see also the TOD in 112 nautical miles, and about 9,000 feet to go for our final cruise altitude. Yeah, brilliant, really. I like it. It's got some nice custom views as well. $6,000 to go, and we are looking good. Again, you've I think it really showcasing this product to you. So we've seen a lot of things in this video. I think we've seen the Buffalo Niagara by iniScene. We've seen First Officer Next, the Aerosoft CRJ. So multiple add-ons, and all of the add-ons shown in this live stream are actually add-ons I recommend. They're actually very good. And of course, we have also FS Realistic working in the background. So a number of add-ons being used in this live stream, and I recommend all of them. I think they're all great. Definitely all of them receive the Q8 Pilot Seal of Approval. So if you want to purchase any of them, I assure you will not regret it. Q8, do you have any opinion on the pilot career software, example Air Hauler 2, Pilot Life, FS Economy? Gibby, I'm glad you asked this question. So let me just say this with a caveat that I normally do not like tycoon games, okay? So I don't like anything to do with purchasing headquarters and FBO, and I don't like those kind of games. And I've tried all of them. I tried Air Hauler 2 for X-Plane, and for Microsoft Flight Simulator, FS Economy, and Pilot Simbit World, Pilot Life Chapter 2. And quite frankly, the one that I enjoyed out of all these programs is the Simbit World Pilot Live Chapter 2. This program is really a lot of fun, and it reduces your workload, and it allows you to fly real world routes, and it establishes some sort of a challenge without being too much of a management game. So it actually is very relevant to what we do as flight simmers. Whereas Air Hauler is something where it takes you into, purchasing your FBO and purchasing aircraft. And I mean, I can't bother. I don't want to go and wait for money so that I can purchase an aircraft. If I want to fly an aircraft, I just want to fly it, And it is a very nice game as a tycoon game. It's very nice, and I know a lot of people play it at length, and it actually sometimes defocuses you from the actual flight simulation, and it takes you more towards we need to getting carried away about our speed here. So let me just set. So I think it takes you more towards aircraft management, airport management, being more on the business side of things in the aviation industry rather than focusing.
We've leveled out at our cruising altitude. Once we flip the seatbelt sign off, you're free to get up and move about the cabin. However, while seated, we ask that you keep your seatbelts fastened as turbulence is unpredictable. At present, we're expecting an on-time arrival, and we'll be sure to keep you updated as we get closer to our destination.
All right, that was the first officer. So I think most of these tycoon type games, they kind of defocuses your attention from flight simming, and it's more into management, with the exception of Simbit World, because it relates to you being a pilot, and you start building your resume, you attend training courses that will increase your XP. So from that perspective, it is the one I personally love. It's the one I would recommend. If anyone asked me which of these programs should I buy, I would say make the investment in Simbit World. It's absolutely amazing, and it's just really an excellent program, and it fits in right within the actual flight simulation rather than being a management or aviation management add-on. AbGeek, welcome aboard. I didn't know you were with us. El Bapino 65, hello my friend. Question: when in the FMC an airport can't SGL couldn't file LSGL. I'm not sure which program you were trying to use. Of discount for the PMDG 777 in my opinion. Hello Q8, hope you are doing well. Do you think the Phoenix is worth getting if I already own the Tolus? Well, I mean, they're very different, but the Phoenix, in my view, as of today, the 11th of July, 2022, the Phoenix, in my view, is the best implementation of an Airbus A320 for flight sim. And by the way, the fly-by-wire project, which is a free project, is not too much far behind. Just from the fidelity and the integration perspective, it's a project that is excellent, really. So let me reduce our speed here a little bit. All right, so if we look here at top of descent, we are 64 nautical miles from top of descent. So we're going to be beginning our descent shortly into Washington Dulles. You're most welcome, Gibby, and thank you for your continued support, my friend. A kid named Kenny. Hello, my friend. FSHUD being used today? No, I'm not using FSHUD today. I'm on the fence on getting it, not sure how well it will work with AIG. It does not work with AIG, so it will not respect the traffic generated by AIG. But if you have AIG installed and you've created your flight plans, what it will do, FSHUD will read the flight plan file. So when you generate the flight plan in FSHUD, it will create the aircraft. It will position them in the right place according to the AIG file, but do not run them together. They don't work together. and you'll more than likely run into issues. Here's a look at the external view. One of the nice things about Microsoft Flight Simulator is the depiction of meteorological data in a very realistic fashion. As you can see, the formation of those clouds is fantastic. Right, not too long before top of descent, and we're going to enable VNAV and set our speed. Alright, so the platform altitude is 1,700 feet. So we're going to go ahead and set that now. There are many restrictions, but VNAV will manage those restrictions for us. So if we look here at the flight plan, we're going to begin the descent at the top of descent point. Then we have some restrictions here at 7,000, 5,000, 4,000, and then that's the vector. At Mosby, we need to be above 3,000, and then we need to descend to 1,900. So let me adjust that. A couple of 100 feet. 1,900. That's the platform altitude, and we should be good. Yeah. And 44 nautical miles before top of descent. So far, so good. John Tiz, hello my friend, welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. Alright, we're going to maintain our current speed. And I'm going to set the heading bug to our current heading. Let's take a look at the outside. Beautiful. Now, one thing this aircraft doesn't do very well is intercepting the localizer. So still has an issue with intercepting the localizer and following the glide slope. It is late in capturing the localizer. By the way, I'm not sure if this is realistic behavior, if the aircraft in real life also is delayed in capturing the localizer. And it has a tendency to start everything very late. So we might need to disconnect earlier than 1,000 feet and hand fly the aircraft. But I will say this aircraft is actually very, very joyful to hand fly. So I like hand flying this aircraft a lot, especially on approach. You feel like you're in command when you are hand flying this aircraft. Very responsive to the pilot input, not very touchy, except when you land, of course, and that goes for kind of everything Microsoft Flight Simulator. But yeah, it's definitely one that the capturing the localizer is definitely an issue. I want to welcome Nicholas San Augustin, Victor Nolito, and Pine Nick, who all have become subscribers of the Q8 Pilot channel. Thank you very much, guys. Oh, Gibby, you were having the same problem. Yeah, I honestly don't think that... by the way, we are approaching the top of descent here, so let me just decrease the range here. We can see top of descent. It's in 23 nautical miles. I'm going to go ahead and engage VNAV. All right. So VNAV is engaged. and we've begun the descent. Bit early, that's alright. About 20 nautical miles early. And we're going to actually need this, and you'll understand why once we are closer to our destination. Could you do a review of the McKnight 787-8 if possible from Warsaw? Alright, so AvGeek, here's the thing about the McKnight. I've done multiple reviews of the McKnight, and if you type in McKnight 787 review, you will get my videos. I have done a first one, a second one, and I was about to do the third one. And the aircraft actually looks pretty good from, you know, from the texturing perspective. I think it has come a long way, but in my view, still not worth it. I mean, the sounds are terrible, and the way you configure the FMC in that aircraft is just terrible, absolutely terrible. And I think they still need to do a lot of work on that aircraft to make it worthy of the price tag they are asking for. Nothing, you know, I have nothing, no grudges against the developers or anything like that, because sometimes the developers feel that I have a grudge against them, but in all honesty, that aircraft is not up to the mark. For example, I'll give you a point of reference. If you consider the Aerosoft Phenom, which is actually cheaper than the McKnight, and you look at the texturing of that aircraft, the overall fidelity of the sounds, the aircraft systems, the way it flies, everything is just way better than the McKnight. Of course, with both being different aircraft, I understand the differences between the two are massive. I mean, one is a Boeing airliner 787, and the other is more of a, you know, a smaller jet. But if I'm to speak of the price point, just the price point, and I look at the fidelity of Aerosoft versus the McKnight, I mean, I think it's very clear that the aircraft is not worth it. And it's still not worth it in my view. We are descending a little too fast there. That's what I thought. Now, VNAV on this aircraft is not exactly accurate, but it's pretty good. It keeps, I think it keeps the altitude pretty much. You reach the altitude pretty much at the time that you'll see it here. So I think from that perspective, I think it's all right. And thankfully, we have had no incidents so far. All right, getting to about 250 knots. Give it some power here to maintain speed. Actually, we can click on speed. Yeah, with VNAV, it's not going to work. So that's all right. We're approaching the transition. Ah, by the way. Oh. What's going on here? Now it's doing some strange things. We should have done the descent checklist, but first officer next is acting up now.
Descent checklist. Landing elevation.
Set.
Fuel.
Set.
Approach briefing.
Completed.
Checklist complete.
Alright, so it looks like it's come back again, so it's setting the MFD in the HUD. As you can see, it has changed the display here for the ILS. Playing with the buttons and dials.
From the flight deck again, you probably already noticed we've started our descent. We're not anticipating any delays and expect to be pulling into the gate in about 20 to 25 minutes. Until then, just sit back, relax, and we'll have you on the ground shortly.
Transition altitude. Checked.
All right. Transition altitude is 18,000 feet in the United States, and we've set it. The altimeter is 29901.
Dear passengers, as you can see, we have already started descent. Please fasten your seatbelts, return your seats to their upright positions, and store your luggage either in the overhead compartments or under the seat in front of you. The cabin crew will be passing by to clean the cabin and perform their final safety checks.
Hello there, Kenny Myers. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you with us this evening. Now, one thing I want to show you guys, by the way, is that we don't need to worry about the ILS frequency. As you can see here, we're approaching 12,000. If you go to the radios, there are two ways you can do this. There is auto, so auto nav. And if you set it to auto nav, once you are close to the airport, just like an Airbus, it would automatically detect the ILS frequency for the dialed runway and set the active nav 1 and 2 to the ILS frequency. So there's nothing we need to do here, and we need to reduce our speed a little bit. All right, so we're doing well, and we are 15,000 for 12,000. Everything's looking good. I'm not going to attempt to inject any traffic into this flight because I'm planning on completing it, and hopefully it won't crash. I really like First Officer Next. I think it really reduces the workload in the cabin. It's nice to always be able to understand how the aircraft operates, though, so in case the add-on stops working, then you're not stuffed and you can still fly the airplane. But I've done a flight on IVAO with First Officer Next in the PMDG 737, and I'll tell you, the First Officer really helps. I mean, you focus on flying and communicating with air traffic control, and First Officer Next will do everything. And it's available, by the way, for the fly-by-wire Airbus A320. It's available for this aircraft, obviously the CRJ, the PMDG, the 787, the Asobo default 787. But of course, you have to purchase separate licenses for these aircraft. So the add-on itself is one program, but if you want to purchase additional licenses, you need to buy them separately. That's the thing. The FO has definitely had a few drinks, while we were in cruise, and I really like this Aerosoft. It's pretty good. Approaching our destination now. It looks like it's going to be a clear sky as we arrive into Washington Dulles, and all's looking good. We have a few restrictions here along the way. So if we look here, we have a restriction at 12,000, 250, 10,000. We are good in terms of speed, and then 7,000 at Maple, which is the transition into our star. And of course, today we're taking the Maple 3 for ILS 01 right at Washington. Perfect. Descending to 13,000 for 1900. VNAV is descending properly, so it's doing what it's supposed to do, and it's doing it beautifully so far. And by the way, here you can see the first officer has already activated the arrival data. Arrival airport is Washington Dulles. Approach is ILS 01 right. The glide slope angle is 3 degrees The localizer true bearing is 0 right now. Runway threshold altitude is 312 feet, and the frequency for the ILS is 110.10. Perfect. And as you can see here, so this is one thing I wanted to show you. You can see that we're approaching this restriction, 12,000, and it looks like VNAV is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So we're right on the dot there in terms of our altitude. We're doing great. Alright, I just did the altimeter is 29906. By the way, the lighting aboard this aircraft, of course now we can't see it, but let me just bring up the lights here, because I think it does look very good. Maybe we'll change the time of day once we land, and I'll show you the night lighting in this aircraft is phenomenal, and the reflections of the instruments is really done very, very well. The emissive lighting is done quite well on this aircraft. So night lighting, again, you will really enjoy night lighting during this in this CRJ. So what do you guys think? Should we do the Challenger 600 by hot start next? Should that be our next stream? What is the resolution you run? So I run at 2K.
We have reached an altitude that requires all electronic devices to be switched off, including video cams, laptops, CD and cassette players. Please make sure all of these devices are switched off.
Mirtoya, hello my friend, welcome aboard, and thank you for your continued support. I really appreciate it. The resolution I run at is 2K, so my monitor is 2K, but for Streamlabs OBS, what I do is I scale it down to 1080p. So the stream is going in to be in 1080p 60 FPS, but when I'm doing recordings or I'm doing, you know, my thing, it's my monitor is the 2K monitor with 60 FPS. Right on the dot there, and the first officer will take care of the lights for us once we pass 10,000 feet.
Passing 10,000 feet.
You can see the lights are turned on for landing. Alright, let's go ahead and reduce the range here a bit. There we go, that's much better. And everything is looking good. Challenger stream would be fun. Alright, you got it, Gibby. That's what we'll do. A kid named Kenny asks, do you have Rex AccuSeason? I know season is supposed to come to MSFS eventually. Yes, I do have Rex AccuSeason. It works as advertised, but I've had some issues with it, quite honestly. And I uninstalled it. But it does work. and I think I haven't been reviewing a lot of the Rex items for Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I haven't really found them to be, of value. That's the word I'm looking for. Except maybe for AccuSeasons, it really changes the sim. But then we have already, when it's snowing, then that's enough for me. I don't really care about how the trees look. I don't really normally look at trees when I'm in the simulator. I just want to fly. So I guess it depends on what you guys want. Depends on what you're looking for. But definitely, I could care less about the type of trees that it brings, or the color of the trees for that matter. It doesn't really matter to me too much. No, the Rex weather is not very good at all, Rami. Yeah, and thanks for being here, Rami. Yeah, I didn't know you were with us. Welcome aboard, my friend. Nice scenery. One of the things I like about Microsoft Flight Simulator is the scenery. You don't really... By the way, although you purchase, if you want like a very detailed rendition of an airport, you can go and purchase, you can purchase these airports, and some of them are just amazing. But overall, Microsoft Flight Simulator, you don't really need them. The default airports are good enough if you're just, wanting to fly from A to B. Then yeah. They're good enough, I think. Especially the handcrafted airports by Asobo are excellent. You should check the latest update for AccuSeason. I also like flying in the fall, and yeah. I'll definitely check the update and let you know if I feel any different about it. Alright, let's try to maintain our speed at 220 knots. And we continue our descent now towards Washington Dulles. 6,000 for 1900. Now one thing, if we look at our flight plan here, you'll see that there is a restriction. And there is another restriction at 3,000 right after we are vectored to the airport. But then actually the distance to the runway is very short, so we need to descend. So what we'll do is we will cancel VNAV and do vertical speed, so that we can reach the altitude, the required altitude to intercept the localizer for our runway 01 right at Washington Dulles International. Let's go ahead and take a look here at landing speeds. We're just going to say set all. Perfect. We're almost there, by the way. MSFS misses the feature to change the flight while it's active, in my opinion. Yep. I'm excited for Sim Update 10 next month. I am too. Definitely looking forward to it. I've seen some videos, very promising changes and updates in Sim Update 10. And I've already made a lot of changes to my settings for performance. I'm getting exceptionally good performance now in terms of FPS, smoothness. And so another update on the a follow-up video for the settings guide that I've done for Sim Update 9 will follow once I have had a chance to test all the tweaks that I've made for Sim Update 9. Hopefully they don't break anything in the next in the next update, and I hope all our add-ons and airports would work, and deliveries and all that good stuff. Definitely the sim is coming along. I mean, Microsoft Flight Simulator is definitely coming along, and it's catching up with X-Plane even in terms of the flight model, I think. Let's take a look at the outside. Beautiful. We are almost at our destination. In fact, if we increase the range, that's... Let me show you guys this. Alright, so this is actually the end of our plan, and this is where you have seen the vector here and the discontinuity. So normally here you would be vectored to Mosby. Now at Mosby we need to be above 3,000 and then 1900 at Waxen, and this is actually in very close proximity to the runway, so things will have to happen very quickly. So what we're going to do, we're going to allow the aircraft to take its time, and then we are going to disable VNAV and go to vertical speed, and then from there we will dial in, we will be descending to 1900 because VNAV is going to stop at 4,000 because it sees that there is a restriction, and it will not descend until we are past this point, and it's going to be a bit too late to intercept the localizer.
Flight to alive.
Eagle 51, welcome aboard, and thank you very much. I'm glad that the performance updates were good for you and that they've worked out for you. Thank you very much for confirming that. There's a lot of things you can do in developer mode. By the way, folks, there's something I want to show you. It might be helpful to some of you. I don't know. Maybe we'll do it after we land. There is a tweak that changes the way your steam gauges are rendered. And that actually, on some machines, it actually it gives you some performance gains. So we'll take a look at that after we land. We're going to keep our speed here. Right, we can reduce the range now. There we go. Perfect. Again, we don't need to worry about anything because we have with us the first officer. I'll show you a few things in developer mode that you can do, a few tips that perhaps can help you guys out. We're almost there now. Alright, so now we are at 4,000, and we're going to maintain 4,000 until we are vectored to the airport. I'm going to go ahead and set the speed to let's see here. One 170. VREF is 129. We can begin reducing our speed now. PAX or SLC or other. Rami, I've tried PAX. I think it's good. Self-loading cargo is better in my view. But PAX receives more updates than self-loading cargo. And it's part of the TFDI offering. So a much more, supported developer, I would say, than self-loading cargo. By the way, the airport is right ahead of us now. If we look here, that's actually, it's to our right. That's the airport right there. Now VNAV is doing some strange things. Alright, we're going to adjust our speed. And what we're going to do momentarily is we are going to disable VNAV and go to vertical speed. Just want to be able to have sufficient time. I think the calculation of VNAV is a bit off here. And then you get some strange things there as well, as you can see. By the way, now if we go to the radio, so remember what I told you about the frequency. So now it's set to 110.10, as you can see here. And this is the frequency of the runway. We can set it here, by the way, too. So 110.10. There we go. So it's done on both sides. Alright, let's go and extend the speed brake a little bit and reduce our speed. Vivian, welcome aboard to the Q8 Pilot channel. Glad to have you as a member of the growing Q8 Pilot family. Welcome aboard, my friend. Micah Morgan, welcome aboard, my friend. Are you going to fly an Embraer SSG? Why not? Yeah, we should do it. Right, we're reducing our speed now. It's about 170 knots.
Flaps 1, flaps 8.
Flaps 1, flaps 8.
Just our speed here a little bit. All right. Here's what we're going to do now. We're going to come to our flight plan. And we're going to select Mosby here. And execute. Take it here. And execute. Alright, and here is our turn now. Watch our speed.
Flaps 20.
Flaps 20.
Here's our turn towards Mosby. And what we're going to do now, folks, is we are going to disable VNav, go vertical speed, and we're going to reduce our speed about 1,000 feet per minute, 1,300 feet per minute to 1,900 feet. Right, here we go. We are looking good. Maintain our current speed, and as you can see, we are now descending to 1,900 feet. And here's the turn towards the airport. Perfect. All right. At this point, what we're going to do, we're going to switch the nav source to localizer 1. And we're going to go to approach.
Hold on.
Now I can see the green dot, by the way, here. I think it's hard to see. See, this is the glide slope here. Localizer is captured, so we're going to wait for this to come down a little bit. And it's kind of late. It will give us the information a bit late. But that's okay. Right, we're doing well. The runway is right ahead of us now. We are on the localizer. It is a bit windy. Hey, Fred, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome aboard. All right, we can see the glide slope needle is now moving towards the middle. Speed is good. Oh, by the way, let's do one thing. Let's record this session. Yeah. CRJ. There we go. We are recording. Oh, no. Please don't. All right. Perfect. I thought for a minute there it was gonna... All right, I think we can lower the landing gear.
Gear down.
Flaps 30. Flaps 45.
Flaps 30. Flaps 45.
Right, 129 is VREF, so we're gonna reduce the speed here, and the aircraft is now descending towards the... It's kind of a violent descent there towards the runway. But I'm just gonna keep an eye on the green dot there, and if the aircraft misbehaves, then I will take over.
Airspeed.
Yeah, we need to be at about 130 knots. It's a bit windy here. As we can see, the aircraft is being tossed around. We are now on the glide slope and the localizer.
1,000.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Passenger signs.
On.
Landing gear.
Down.
Flaps.
Set.
Checklist complete. Flight attendants prepare for landing.
Alright, let's go ahead and disconnect the autopilot.
Command A off.
My aircraft.
500.
Watch airspeed.
400.
Gentlemen, the captain has aborted the landing. Please keep your seatbelt fastened as we will be landing shortly.
Oh, it thinks we're going to do a go-around.
Sync rate.
Minimums.
200. Sync rate.
Watch airspeed.
100. Sync rate. 50. 40. 30. Flight slope. 20. 10.
Speed breakout. 100 knots. Reverse thrust. 80 knots. Reverse idle.
And welcome to Washington Dulles, ladies
6
and
knots.
gentlemen.
Dear passengers, welcome to our destination airport. Please remain seated until all docking procedures are performed and cabin lights are switched on. On behalf of the captain and his crew, we would like to thank you for flying with us. We hope you enjoyed your flight today and hope to see you soon.
Now what will happen as soon as we exit the runway, the after landing flow will start by First Officer
Before
next.
takeoff
Please
checklist.
remain seated until
No.
the aircraft has come to a complete stop.
So part of the after landing flow is starting the APU, flaps, lights. All right, we've made it safely. I think the landing was pretty good. What do you guys think? By the way, this scenery of Washington Dulles is that of Flight Beam Studios. A beautiful rendition of the airport again. Very, very nice. And I'll take you to a gate position so again you guys can see the beautiful scenery there. I think that's a good position to put the aircraft. There we go. And there we go. Perfect. All right. Parking brake set, and let's do... All right. So I'm not sure how will this affect the replay of our landing, but let me go ahead and stop it now. All right. I think when we do the replay, the aircraft actually needs to be on, but I do want to show you guys the after landing flow and the shutdown checklist with the first officer next. So he's actually going through the entire checklist, or the flow checklist. All right, now I can say shutdown checklist, please.
Shutdown checklist. Parking brake.
Set.
Throttle.
Idle.
Passenger signs.
Off.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Hydraulic 3A pump.
On.
Exterior lights.
Set.
Checklist complete.
Ladies and gentlemen, the door is open. Please make your way to the exit and please make sure you have all your personal items and carry-on luggage.
And now we're running through the secure flow. Rami, have you ever thought of organizing group flights? I have, Rami, and I think it would be a lot of fun to fly with you guys. It needs some time to organize, but I think, as you can see now, by the way, the aircraft is completely shut down by first officer next. He took care of everything for us, and we are now back into the aircraft, cold and dark state with the door open as stairs. I think, yes, I think we should do a group flight, and maybe you guys can help me organize it by suggesting where you want me to do the group flight. So maybe we'll pick something nice and slow and do a VFR group flight. I think it would be a lot of fun. I was invited by the sim hanger to do his inaugural group flight. So maybe we'll invite him to do the inaugural group flight with us here on the Q8 Pilot channel. But there's a few things I want to show you guys before we conclude our stream. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to go to set the aircraft to ready for taxi. Yeah, we're going to set it ready for taxi because I want to do the replay, and the replay will not happen if the aircraft is not in that state. So default, that's the default state. All right, ready for taxi.
Dear disagree.
All right, we'll just wait for the engines to start, and then we'll do the all right, let me close this. Remove. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, I think we're good now. I think we can do the replay. So let's go ahead and bring up the replay.
Engine 1 cut out.
We're gonna close.
Engine 2 cut out. All engines stable.
We're gonna close this guy now. Exit. All right, and let's do load. And the name was CRJ, wasn't it? That's the one. Open. All right, and light. There we go.
Aircraft in case of an emergency. During an emergency, please remain in your seats with your seatbelts fastened and your seats in the upright position. In case...
That's the landing gear coming down. Man, just look at this scenery. Just absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, eBoss, for being with us. Really appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed the stream. Beautiful, just absolutely stunning views of very nice indeed. That was pretty smooth. Here is a look at the beautiful airport, flight beams, Washington Dulles. Beautiful airport, really. And again, another airport that I would recommend. Again, optimized for performance, just like their Auckland airport in New Zealand. Beautiful rendition, really, of the airport. All right, so a few things I want to show you guys before we conclude this stream, and mainly on. Let me see here. All right, let me bring up FS. Where is it? Let me bring up first officer next. I just want to show you the new interface. So this is the new interface. Things have changed since the last version. Of course, it requires. Yeah, it's gonna.
Engine 2 cut out. All engines stable.
From the cockpit, this is your first officer. Just want to take a moment to welcome you aboard and thank you for flying with us today. Our taxi to the right.
Doesn't want to start today. All right, let's start it again. All right, let's see if this one works. If it doesn't, that's all right.
Engine 1 cut out.
Yeah, it's just
Engine 2 cut out.
It's
All
acting up.
stable.
From the cockpit, this is your first officer. Just want to take a moment to welcome you aboard and thank you for flying with us today. Our taxi to the runway should be pretty uneventful, and we're anticipating an on-time departure.
Yeah, it's because it thinks we are.
In the air shortly.
It thinks we are in this state. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to say restart. Yeah. All right, perfect. Now it should reset everything, and now I can show you a little of this program. So.
Engine 1 cut out. Engine 2 cut out.
Why is it doing this?
All engines stable.
All right, here we go. Perfect. Now it's paused and we can actually disconnect it from MSFS, but let's leave it there. All right. So the first thing is you can see now it's got integration with SimBrief. So all you need to really do is to click on this icon and then click download from SimBrief, provided that you have added your SimBrief pilot ID. It will download everything there for you, including the runway, the fuel. It will calculate the zero fuel for you. As you can see, we've set the speeds there, V1, VRotate, and V2. So it does all of that for you automatically. You don't really need to do anything. And then the only thing you need to do is start, say, on the pre-flight flow. And then from this menu here, you can set auto flow. And normally auto flow waits for an action to happen before it executes the next checklist or flow. So for example, the pre-flight flow is something you have to start, and then the pre-flight checklist we call with the as you've seen during the stream, I was instructing the first officer to do the checklist, and then the before start flow. After the pre-flight checklist is completed, if the doors are closed, it will automatically begin the before start flow. So the checklists are the ones that you can command the first officer to do, and the flows depend on certain actions within the simulation to actually start. Overall, if you go here now, you can see the interface has changed with new icons. Looks pretty good. From the configuration menu now, you can set your SOPs options here. So you can click and you can set all of these to your liking. So as you can see here, there's manage the center tanks, manage the barrel reference, the FMC, cockpit lights, externals, and you can set the ILS frequency. Now, if you don't want the first officer to do this, all you need to do is really to turn them off, and you're pretty much good. From here also you have access to support. So from the support menu there's YouTube forums and what have you, and we can also check here for updates, and it looks like it's currently up to date. Why is it? Yeah, it's up to date. Now it's not gonna allow me to do anything here. All right, let's close this. Come on. Anyway, you guys get the idea. Say close, and it just doesn't want to allow me to do anything here. Oh God. All right, well, I think you guys get the idea here, and I'm not sure what is going on with the. There we go. All right. So please remember to show us the tips from the developer menu. All right, let's do that. So if we go to the main menu, no, we go to general options, and then we go to developer mode, and let's enable that. All right. Why is this doing this? All right. Anyway. Right, so a few things to show you. By the way, you can, from the developers menu, you can always go to virtual file location. And from the virtual file location, if you select package folders, you can open the official folder here. So now it opens, this is the official folder. So if you don't know where your community folder is, and this is the community folder as well. So you have access to those here if you're not, and if you want to copy this location, you can just simply copy here. And now you have your community folder, and you can just add it as a shortcut somewhere. All right. So that's one thing that may prove useful for some of you. But if we go to the options, and from the options, you will find something called Use Nano VG for XML gauges. Okay. So this one here might be of benefit to some of you. Try it out. Bring up your bring up your FPS, and load up the Cessna 172 or one of the aircraft, and try to use the Nano VG for use the Cessna G1000 and try to use Nano VG for XML gauges. You should get some performance increase with that. So it can for some PCs it will prove very, very useful in terms of performance. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed this stream as much as I enjoyed streaming it for you. Cancel that, go back, discard, resume. So I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this stream as much as I enjoyed streaming it for you. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in this evening, and stay safe. Bye-bye for now.